So in today's video, we're going to be answering some more of your canine questions. Welcome back to Fenrir Canine Training. If you are new here, my name's Will. I'm a canine behaviourist. I'm the founder and CEO of FenrirCanineLeaders.com. This is my wonderful wife, Rachel, and on this series, we're answering some of the questions that you have sent over to Rachel on Instagram. She's going to pick some out at random, and then she's going to ask me, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be able to help with you with some of your canine problems.
Okay, so the first question we've had from a couple of different people, and that is how to go about crate training while you're working from home due to lockdown, and also maybe if you can touch on tips about separation anxiety as well, because it kind of falls into the same.
This is definitely something that now we've been in this lockdown for a while and things are starting to ease. I'm seeing a lot of people that haven't been proactive and preemptive with this, and now they're starting to go back to work, starting to be able to go out a little bit more. They're struggling with a lot of separation anxiety. Obviously, it was completely expected, and this is something that I think we're going to be dealing with, and a lot of behaviourists and trainers are going to be dealing with moving forward. If you're still in that situation, the recommendation I have, and I always talk about this, is about being proactive and preemptive and setting your dog up for success. So if right now you're at home, especially with a new puppy, one of the benefits, it might seem, is that you've got tons of time to spend with them. But the problem is you then go back to work and the dog hasn't learned how to be on its own, because one of the best ways to do is to always from day one start as you mean to go on, and help them learn to positively be alone on their own and to be content and comfortable with that. Now we can talk about separation anxiety and crate training. That's can be an hour-long video itself, but my big one takeaway tip for you is that if you're working from home and you're working from home for the foreseeable future, like a lot of companies are, and you're just about getting a puppy or you've just got a puppy, start straight away, even if you're at home working on crate training. If that means you have to go and do some work out in the garden, if that means you have to go and take your laptop and sit in the bathroom and do some work so that you're imitating the procedure of leaving the dog on its own. We've got a whole video dedicated to crate training, my kind of ultimate crate training guide. I'd follow that procedure exactly the same as normal, and make sure that you schedule in times, being proactive and preemptive, to remove yourself away and to teach your dog to be alone, because when it does come that you need to go back to work, you're going to be setting yourself up for a whole world of issues if you don't get on top of this now.
And I think as well, you do have opportunities to leave them alone. Like, even if you just nip into the supermarket, if you drive the long way round and you're out for an hour or two, that's the first steps towards it anyway, isn't it? And I remember as well when we had Mabel, that when you were working from home and you wanted her to be like crate trained, you would pretend to go out, like you would open and shut the front door and then sneak around super quietly, so she thought that you weren't there.
And when I was reading a lot of kind of detailed canine behaviour books at the time, preparing for my master's degree, and that's what I do, is I do my crate training routine. I'd use my stuffed Kong, again it's all in that guide, and I'd do what I would normally do. So I'd turn a podcast on for her just to kind of help that there's a bit of background noise. I'd shut the door, I'd open the door really loudly and close it as if I'd gone out, and I'd really quietly sit down, and then I'd just read my book, and I'd just really quietly read, make the most out of that time. And again, it's just about being proactive and preemptive. Schedule it in, have a diary, plan it in, and you're going to set yourself up for success as opposed to setting yourself up for failure.
So next question, more of a business question for you.
Questions.
And basically someone has just said, Odeon Harness, when/if are they coming?
So the Fenrir harnesses, yes, definitely are coming. We're releasing an entirely new range, so we're going to have the Odeon range, and then we've got a new range drop in. The harness is one of those range. I'm not going to announce the name of it or anything, because we're working on some really fun kind of creative photography, video stuff to kind of launch that range. But yes, they definitely are coming. Last week I signed off on the final prototype. They're awesome, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's literally
it is over there.
a meter out of shot. We're doing loads of stuff with it, preparing for all the photography. I've signed off on the last prototype. It's amazing. It's taken me years to get it this perfect. and for it to still be kind of affordable. It's in a really good price range, so it's accessible for everybody, yet still, in my opinion, the best harness in the world. And I've just put a huge order in. It's the biggest order we've ever made, isn't it? And that takes probably around 90 days for the manufacturing process to make them. So what we want to do is make sure that we've got them all in stock so that we can be shipping them straight out
away
to you guys. Because it's probably worth quickly mentioning now that is an issue we face with the Odeon range, because they're kind of made to order and so high end and bespoke. We got far higher demand than we ever saw, which then knocks on the lead time, and some people have to wait a couple of weeks. So what we've done is we've made the Odeon range out of stock so that we can also find manufacturing that can be faster and scale and grow with us, because Fenrir is growing faster. I'm so honoured and humbled. It's amazing, and we're proud of the products we're making. I do think they're the best products in the world, but that's only one piece of having the best company in the world, which is what I want Fenrir to be. Customer service is just as important to us both. So we're getting manufacturing better, we're getting distribution better, and those things do take a bit of time. But yes, the harness is coming. We're hoping around September for it to be a fully launch, but you're going to see in the next few weeks, we're going to have some little teasers coming out in videos. But yes, they are on the way and they are awesome.
Okay, and final question for this episode is, does the Snuggle Puppy really work?
Snuggle Puppy, it ties in quite nicely with crate training.
It
Is
does.
that why you chose it?
It wasn't actually, but we can pretend that was the theme.
But yeah, so Snuggle Puppies, if you don't know what they are, they're basically a dog-shaped teddy bear that has like a gap in its tummy that you can put. It comes with a heart that ticks realistically like a dog heart. And also you can put like heat pouches in so it heats up. I think the concept is a very clever concept. The first time I ever personally used them, I know a lot of people that go out and buy them. I used it with Mabel. If I'm being completely honest, it's hard for me to really objectively decide whether was it the Snuggle Puppy that helped me crate train her, or was it all the other advice and guidance that I usually give in terms of what helped her. It's a hard thing to define. What I will say is that it won't hurt. And for years people have been recommending putting I used to always recommend putting a ticking clock wrapped up in some bed sheets that smells like the mum's litter in a crate. Again, it's hard to really know if that helps.
I think as well it may have worked better. We didn't have one straight away, and I think had you have got one already and almost replace the litter mates straight away, it might have.
Did we not have one straight away, did we?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We got it because we were struggling with separation anxiety. So I don't think we had it immediately. I don't think it was long, like a week or two, but it's a technique that people say about babies as well. Like when the boys were little, I was advised that when you're rocking them and they're a bit unsettled, to pat them on the bum, and it's just gently pat them, and it's like a heartbeat kind of thing.
It's one of those things like separation anxiety. It's one of those things that so many people don't put the amount of thought in up front for how much. I honestly think it's probably the most difficult thing to overcome. I would much sooner work with the world's most aggressive German Shepherd than any dog with severe separation anxiety. It's a heartbreaking situation. It's very difficult, and I think people don't understand the level of effort that can be required in getting a breed over it, especially a breed more prone to it, like Mabel was with as a Connie Corso. So again, I'm always trying to learn and try new tactics.
You said Connie Corso.
People,
Someone asked the question whether we would be able to do a whole video without saying Connie Corso, and it turns out we can't.
Apparently not, my friend. You are completely right. But I think they can't hurt. Whether it's hard to tell whether they actually work. Again, I think there's lots of one thing I will say is don't buy one and expect that to be the solution to separation anxiety, or that alone to do crate training. It's just one. Like I say, dog training is about a balanced approach of having as many tools in your toolbox to be able to pull and draw on as possible to help our canines be the best canine companions they can be. I think the Snuggle Puppy belongs in that toolbox, but it's not the only tool. It's one of many tools. I think that's my... and if I thought it sucked, I'd tell you I think it sucked, but I don't. Doesn't. It's, like I say, it's just it's one tool of many tools that you can have at your disposal. That's it. Three questions for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you want to ask any questions, by the way, we usually do this halfway through the video, but Instagram. Go, there's a link in our description box below. Come and follow us over on Instagram. Rachel puts a story up.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain.
Well, I just put a story up.
I
A Q&A story. I was going to say, can I do a little plug as well?
Of course.
So one of those questions, the first one was from Georgina, who's one of our new writers on the blog.
Mabels Fables.
Mabels Fables. So we've added an article section on the Fenrir Canine Leaders site, and that's going to be a blog with articles sort of like similar topics to the videos and stuff, isn't it? Like informational, but also we're running a series called Mabels Fables, and we've got initially I was looking for 4, but I think I've got closer to 8 or 10 different families who have either just had puppies or have got puppies who would have been around a similar age to Mabel, who were sort of inspired by Mabel, and it's just a way of you following along with their journey, really.
Because again, I do think that's really important as well, because I can give you my answers as a professional, but sometimes I think it's really good to be able to see it from 2 sides of the owner's perspective. Owners that are having a lot of success, so you can replicate that, but then also owners that are prepared to be honest and open about the struggles. I, like say, if you were following along with my journey with Mabel, I did lots of videos about how difficult it is, even for us. It's not easy, and I know that helped a lot of people, and I think Mabel's Fables can be like a continuation of that. And again, I love that it's named and inspired after Mabel.
So a lot of these, the first ones will be sort of introducing the different families involved, but also they're talking about why they chose that breed, which I think is interesting, as obviously that's something that you talk about.
So we'll leave that in the description box below as well.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Also shout out to Chris and Jessica, who came up with the name.
Yeah, Chris and Jessica, great idea. Brought a tear to my eye when Rachel told me that I've had this email and it's an amazing idea. I was like, we've got to do it. That's awesome. So yeah, thank you. I'm really excited. Rachel's going to manage that project, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be really good and fun and a cool little addition to what we're doing here at Fenrir. So thank you everybody that supports us. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll speak to you on the next episode of Fenrir Canine Training.